going on, everybody? I go by the name of Curry, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish. Now, today we got a really dope sneaker that I think flew under the radar for a lot of people. We're going to talk about why it flew under the radar and the really interesting story behind this sneaker. So, without further ado, let's take a look. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Air Jordan 1 Defiant. Now, these sneakers, of course, came in a regular all-black Jordan 1 Retro OG box. The only difference here is that there's this new side sticker that has the QR code on it, along with the proof of purchase. It's interesting to see what these are going to look like and what these QR codes are going to start translating to once you're actually able to scan them. But for now, you still can't really scan them. When you try to scan them in on your phone, nothing really comes up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with them. All right, starting with the upper of the sneaker, again, Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG Classic Silhouette. Nothing different or deconstructed about the silhouette in and of itself. However, the materials take a very interesting and premium turn on this one. Most notably, this really nice tumbled leather that is wrapped around the collar of the shoe, wrapped around the heel of the shoe, down the eyelets, and the toe box. Now, as you can also see, the sneaker is outlined in this really bold red stitching all along the upper of the shoe. Even around the Wings logo, you got a black Wings logo here, and you can see that that stitching is really defined and really bold around that Wings logo. Now, what's missing here, of course, is the swoosh. Now, you see the remnants of the red stitching where the swoosh should go, but the swoosh is gone. Almost looks like it's been ripped up. We'll talk more about this swoosh in just a second. Now, the quarter panels of the shoe and around the very highest upper of the shoe, you get this really nice, pure, true white tumbled leather. You can see the leather a little bit better on the toe box here. Very nice quality leather. Now, the tongue of the shoe is really interesting. It has the same premium black leather on the tongue instead of the standard nylon tongue that you see normally on Retro 1 highs. Now, the tag of the shoe, you can also see it looks like it's all been stitched on there in that bold red stitching, and it just has the Nike Air branding, but nothing on the back of the tongue. Now, on the right shoe, the swoosh is missing on both the lateral and the medial side. However, on the left shoe, there is one swoosh that's still intact on the medial side of the shoe. And you can see that swoosh here. It's a bright, vibrant yellow swoosh. Now, in addition to that, you also get an extra set of red and yellow laces with these. And on the insole, you get a very bright yellow insole with that black Nike Air branding on the heel. You got a true white midsole on the shoe here. And last but not least, an all black outsole, regular Jordan 1 OG outsole. So overall, really good looking shoe in my opinion, with a really cool story about it. So let's talk a little bit about the story behind the shoe, because I feel like a lot of people don't really know what the story behind this sneaker is. This sneaker is designed to look like a leather jacket with patches on it from the old alternative rock days of the 1980s. Now, on the sneakers app, it talks a little bit about the fact that this shoe actually was made with alternative rock in mind in those old bands of yesteryear back in the day that actually used to use a yellow and red color scheme in their band logos and in their album designs. So if you guys were around in the 1980s and you remember bands like Def Leppard or Iron Maiden, then you remember that some of their album covers actually prominently featured red and yellow on a lot of their album covers. I never really even realized that until I went back and I was doing a little bit of research about the shoe as well, but I was thinking, wow, there's a lot of yellow and red that these bands used to use on those old albums of the 1980s. Now, if you guys also remember, jackets with the patches on them were a big deal back in the 1980s as well, and a lot of rockers used to take patches off. They used to manipulate their clothing to make it look their own, to make it look a little more grunge, and this sneaker actually is paying homage to that. So the premium tumbled black leather here actually represents that premium black leather on those rocker jackets from back in the 80s. The missing swoosh but still being able to see the threads is honestly if somebody were to use one of those little tools that they use to take the swoosh off here or to take patches off of a jacket, once they take them off, you can still see the threads coming through. And that's also why you see the Wings logo looking the way that it is with this bold stitching around it as well. Again, it's supposed to look like a patch on a jacket. So this is supposed to be a pair of sneakers that if I were a rocker, I wanted to yank the red swooshes off of here, keep the yellow swoosh, maybe switch my laces out to yellow or red and just rock out with these however I felt necessary. Honestly, this is one of the dopest designs that I've seen from Jordan Brand this year. Now, I say that with a little asterisk next to it because there's another story behind the manipulation of these swooshes that I think Jordan Brand isn't really giving creatives the credit that they deserve. I want to take you guys back to the Sports Illustrated Jordan 1s for a minute. And if you guys remember when those came out, a lot of people were actually cutting the swooshes off of that sneaker because they felt that the shoe looked a lot cleaner without the swoosh on it than having the those green swooshes on the lateral and medial side of the shoe. Honestly, I think that Jordan Brand paid attention to the fact that people were manipulating their sneakers that way, and it got so much shine, the fact that people were taking those swooshes off the shoe, that Jordan Brand thought to themselves, I wonder how we can capitalize on this and make a story out of it. And lo and behold, we got the Defiant. The word Defiant, of course, meaning that you're supposed to be defiant in the rules, and I guess that's kind of the whole nature of the Jordan 1 anyway, from the band to the Defiant to, of course, the Defiant Couture as well, which was a similar take to the black and red colorway, but in those really premium leather materials. So this sneaker is just another example of Jordan Brand telling the consumers not to be afraid to break the rules and to live by the beat of their own drum. More so in this case because this sneaker was specifically dedicated to alternative rock bands. Now, the sneaker was actually a pretty limited release. These did not release in all the stores around the country. These were actually a pretty limited release even on the Sneakers app, and I believe only Tier 0 stores even received the sneaker in store. So the question is, why isn't it worth that much money? I think the answer to that is pretty simple. MCAs and Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows. Those sneakers both dropped right around the exact same time as these. And as a matter of fact, on the same day, the Para SB lows came out, as well as the Para Blazer lows. And because those sneakers had so much attention around them, these kind of flew under the radar. If you were able to pick up a pair of these, I guarantee you, you didn't pass up the Para SBs to get these. You got them kind of as a consolation prize, which was my case. I kind of got these as a consolation prize because I didn't get the Para SBs. But now that I have these in hand, I'm actually really glad that I got them because the quality is great and the story around them, I think, is really dope. The Defiant Air Jordan 1 OG, honestly, is that song that you skipped, went back to, and later realized that it was fire. And I think that a lot of people are going to regret not getting this shoe, or especially not getting this shoe for as low of a price that it's at right now, because even on secondary markets like StockX, you can still get these for pretty much retail. But that's pretty much it when it comes to this shoe. Now it's time for you guys to sound off down in the comments and let me know what you guys think about the Jordan 1 Defiant. Did you pick up a pair of these, or did you go ahead and pass on them trying to get something else, or just saving your coins for a new release that might be coming out soon? Oh, of course, while you're down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the SneakerPhetish family, to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the Air Jordan 1 High Defiant, and until next time, I'm out.